Hello and welcome here on a Monday afternoon again. It's me, Simon, from AVAGO-INK Designs. And thank you for joining me. I can see we've already got some people on there. We've got Margaret, Vonnie, and Maureen. Nice for you to join me. Did any of you watch the Create and Craft show the other day? I hope you did. There were some really nice demonstrations on there and got some nice inspiration for the AVAGO-INK range. So I hope you did catch that, but if you didn't, just tick the notifications on social media and then you'll be kept up to date with all upcoming shows and any announcements that we have in the future. So, let's get started, I think. Let's get started with our first demonstration. So this first one's a really quick and easy card. I noticed in the comments, I think it was Margaret, so she's looking for some inspiration for a birthday card for a 7-year-old. So this might be for you. This is a really quick, simple, colourful card. And this is going to be using like your scraps. Just here we go. So this is a really good card you can use using the scraps of paper that you've got at home. Puts them to use, and it really is a fast card to make. I'm going to show you how to use this. It's just using the characters from the Dino range and the dies, which I'm going to show you how to construct this one. So let's get started. So ahead of time, I've just cut some slips of paper to the same size. And these are 3-inch wide. And then I think they're about 6-inch long. The length doesn't really matter, but we're going to chop them down to what we need anyway. But as long as we've got the actual the width all the same, then we can layer these up in a minute. Let's start off with our die cut. So what I want to do is I want to die cut, but I only want half of this to be die cut. So I'm going to place this over where I want. And I'm going to trap it so it's hanging out of the actual plates. You can see there? I'm only actually going to get this half in, and then that will mean that this will cut and this will not cut. Let's get these put through. This is the first one. All these more people commenting, I can't keep up. Just get my other dies ready there. Put the green one on ready. Put these two. We'll be a bit down and try and put two together through. I think we should do it. Here we go. Pop that through. Good afternoon, Anne. Thanks for joining us. I'm just holding this so it doesn't slip at the last minute. There we go. Let's take this tape off. So as you can see now, what I'm going to do is take this die off, and it's only cut half. You can see if I fold that back a little bit. What I'm going to do is just trim that up. It makes it nice and level. Trim it to that side. I'm going to do the same with these other characters that we've done. Just take the dies off. And trim up. And trim down to that one. And our last little dinosaur, the one that's running. Just take the tape off this one. Bit sticky, this tape, actually. I should have... It don't matter, she'll know he's late, don't worry. That's the beauty though, isn't it, being on the YouTube channel, that you can always go for a catch-up later. Put down to that one. And we'll put up to that one. I'll just move my card blank out of the way. You can see there now I've got some nice shapes. I've got half of the dinosaurs all cut out into these 3 colours. I'm just going to bring up my stamping platform now. It's really simple, this one. So all we're going to do is stamp. Let me just let's see if this stamps. There's no sponge layer in this platform. Is it just over? Oh, got it. I'll swap to that one actually. If they get some use, these Eurekas, I've got to say. I'll just swap over. Over there. I'm back. Right, so put these back in now. We'll stamp 2. I'm going to put a dinosaur stamp over the die cut that we've already done. Make sure that lines up where I want it. I'll fix the other one in. And you could make these ahead of time, and then if you are compiling a card, you can get the children to pick their own characters that you're going to put in. So I'm just going to open that up. I'll give that a good ink in. So Anne says, my dinosaurs are being delivered this afternoon. Oh, you'll have to share what you make then, Anne. I love to see what other people create with them. So they're such lovable characters. So let's give that a good push down. I'm happy with those. So we'll just take that off, put them to one side. You can see if I hold that up, you get a really nice crisp image, and that dinosaur's like half in and half out of those paper strips now. So I'm just going to do the last one, which is the orange paper, and that's going to have the little dinosaur that's sitting down on it. Put on there. Line that up correctly. Pick that up. Give that a good ink in. And make sure that that's really well done. Get that good push down. There we go. We've got our little friendly dinosaur. I'm going to bring that out. In fact, while I've got my stamping platform, I'm just going to put my sentiment on this card too. So I've got the raw means I love you in dinosaur one. I'm going to put that up to our little character. I might as well just stamp this while I've got the Eureka out, rather than going back in a minute. Give that a good push down. There we go. Lovely crisp sentiment that. A really bold sentiment. I find I use it a lot, that, with the dinosaur range. Just put that to one side. Right. So ahead of time, I've cut a little bit of a blank matte layer for us. And I'm just going to grab my tape runner. I've got a piece of blue, so this is the other piece I've got. It's the same size as the others I've cut, but I'm not going to stamp a dinosaur on this one. I'm just going to get this taped into place with a tape runner. So we'll make sure that this sets off correctly. Plus the others are going to follow this as a guide. There we go. So then what you want to do is you want to work out where you want these other characters. So think about that and have that. I think we need them around that kind of space in there. I just need to trim my orange one. It's a little bit snugger. I'll just bring my board up. There we go, take that edge bit off. So I know that I want these kind of an equal space apart. Still looking, I don't know, is it 1.5 inches roughly between these gaps? So we'll start off with the pink one. What I'm going to do, use a tape runner. Maybe not. Let's use some glue instead. So I'm going to just put a little bit of glue just at the back end of this and make sure that that's level with the blue layer underneath so we don't have any of that colour popping out. And then we'll do the green one. Same again, we'll just put a bit of glue at the end. You'll see why in a second when I'm going to put it at the end, but I just want to put these into position. That's fine, and we'll just push that up just a little bit to hold that edge. We can pull that back a little bit if we need to. I think that's good. And then we've got this last one. I'm going to put this right towards the end. We'll make sure that our black border is equal all the way around. So already we've created a really nice kind of colourful card. I'm going to mount this onto our backing, blank. Just make sure that's in the centre. And give that a good push down. And then you can see I've left all these little bits that are lifting up. This is on purpose so that I can go back in now with some foam pads. And I can put a foam pad under each dinosaur, give a little bit of height. Just pop that in there. Okay, and then to finish off, I've got a ruler. I'm just going to draw a border around the whole piece that we've done. Because I've got them foam pads in place, it's easy to do this as well. I'll do like that. Do the bottom one. It just gives it another depth, really. Centres your artwork a little bit more. Just do the last edge. Move my ruler out the way. Just make sure that's stuck. And there you go. A really, really colourful card. It'd be ideal for a birthday card. I forgot who said they were looking for a birthday card, but it's just a good way of using your scraps and your characters. And you could do this with a farmyard collection, you could do it with the dinosaurs, or you could even do it with flowers and things that you may already have in your stash. So it'd look really nice with different flower heads going through those colours. But it's just really crisp, fast card, and you could easily put a number on that sentiment and make it a birthday card if you want to. So hopefully enjoyed that first demonstration. That's a kind of fast one for today, which is a really good starting point for anybody to have a go with. We're now going to play some inspiration from the dinosaur collection, and then we'll join you in 2 seconds for the next demonstration. So I'll see you in a second. And welcome back. So I'm glad you enjoyed that first demonstration. I can see in the comments that Sheila's just got a Eureka stamping platform. They're brilliant, aren't they? I've got to say, I won't be without mine. I love the fact that it's 12 by 12, a lot bigger, and do bigger projects with it. Right, so this next one, a little bit different. And this is going to show you how to do like quite of a mystical background. And we're going to show you how to do a really good silhouetting technique. So you can use your stamps to create your own scenes this way. So we've got a little cow and chicken looking up at the moon. And a nice sentiment in there as well. So let's show you how to make this one. So I've just got a bit of scrap paper just for this one. And I've got a piece of mixed media card, just basically a little bit of texture to it. I like that. But it's a bit cheaper than using your watercolour card. So I've got a few distress oxides. So I'm using the Wilted Violet one, Blueprint Sketch, Peacock Feather. Just get my dabbers all ready. And then I've also got a really bright yellow one, Mustard Seed, which I'm going to use for like kind of the moon colour. You could do it a bit paler, but if I'm honest, I'm moving my craft room around a bit and I couldn't find a paler yellow, so it's a little bit more sun-coloured, I must admit. So I've already created a mask for the sun, which is just a die-cut circle that I've cut down. And I know that if I line that up with the edge of my card, this is big enough for the sentiment I want to put into it. So that's the reason I've pre-cut that. I'm going to start off by just using some of this distress oxide and just blending out from the circle, just to get a bit of a glow from this shape. It doesn't matter if you go too much because the very good distress oxides, you can layer up on them. So we can always take it back a bit if it's too much later. I'm going to move my finger down a little bit while we're around this bottom edge. That's going to give us our glow. And I'm just going to lift the circle back up. I'm going to fill the centre in now. I do it this way so we kind of get like a white glow that goes around the edge. We'll start from the edge and I'll just bring in that colour in. I'm just going to take it up to the edge so we get kind of a glow within that yellow. See there? So we've got a really nice kind of pale to bright. I'm going to put that back over now to protect that so it don't get dirty as we're doing this card. Put that there. Move the yellow out of the way. So I'm going to start off with the lighter colour, which is the Peacock Feather, which is a really nice colour, look, like a bit of a turquoisey. And I'm just going to go in with almost patches and lines going across this piece, so it's like almost like when the clouds kind of blow by. So we'll take a bit right up here and we'll drag it down. We'll take it a bit darker. And then we'll take some across here. And don't worry if it looks a bit patchy or if it's a bit too dark. We can always build this up afterwards. I'm just going to join those two colours up. I think I want a little bit of green down here now. Okay, and I'm going to swap over to the Blueprint Sketch, which is a nice kind of a blue colour. Look. I'm just going to take some of these darker areas into that tealy green. And we'll put a little bit of this just going up here. And a bit more coming from this side, I think. Put that all the way across the card. And I'm going to use the Wilted Violet. Now what I'm going to do is use this to like bring a little bit more colour in between those layers. So just use the edge of my sponge, give us a bit more. And take that up this section. And it really doesn't matter if they're mixed because we want these to kind of blend anyway together. So we're just going to take the fine tip there to bring a little bit purple up there. And then we'll take some right down here. Oops. Don't worry about this edge too much. We just want to make sure there's enough colour down there. Okay. I'm just going to dab off that, and I can use that then to bring that blue back into those areas to get rid of those harsh lines. And go back into these areas. I'll do the same again with the purple. Just blend that up so it just gets a bit softer than every time. Okay, let's move them to one side now, so we don't need these anymore. You don't have to apologise for being late, ladies and gents. It's just nice that you join us, and if you do miss it, you can always catch up on it, can't you? So I'm just going to now spritz this a little bit, just so we can have a little bit of detail. So I'll leave that for a second while that just picks up the ink. I've already got some kitchen roll ready. See if that's fine. I think that's fine. I'll give that a good press. There we go. It's lifted quite a lot on that one, but it really does add to the effect. So I'm going to move out my backing paper now so I don't get ink on my fingers. And if you thought there was too much, you could always go back in with your ink and top it back up, but I'm really happy with that. So then what we're going to do, I'm going to bring in paint tray. Just going to get some paint ready because we're going to need this in a second. And this is just some black gouache paint. I'll just put some water into that one ready. Okay. I'm going to bring my stamping platform back in. I'll just grab it a second. Ooh, wrong one. And what we're going to do now is going to build up a scene at the bottom. So I'm not worried about where these are and if they overlap, and you'll see why in a second. So let's have our cow there. Let's have our little chicken there, I think. And let's get them stamped into place. So Maureen says fab colours. I love these colours. And I love how you can play around, and if it's not quite right, you can put brighter colours on top to make it lift again, and it's just nice to play with them, isn't it? So push that down there, look. Got as nice images there, so we'll take them out of the way. And then I've got this grass. So I want to put this grass, so it's like the chicken stood behind it. I'm going to do the same with the cow, so let's have a look. So let's put the cow about there. Okay, let's get my ink out of the way. Ooh, trying to get ink on my fingers. I'll just bring in that piece of scrap card again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use these like a silhouette technique. So we're going to mix some of that water within the paint just to make it a little bit more fluid. And we're just going to simply paint out these characters. And you might at home want to go over it twice, but for the demonstration, I'm just going to do one layer. Okay. Pull that across really fast, look. You can have great fun with this, but you can build some really interesting scenes up with the characters that you've already got. Just do the same with his feathers. It's a really good way of rescuing a card as well if you do an accident with the stamping. I'm just going to do the same with this grass. I'm just filling in these areas. Little legs. Oh, I've gone quiet, Anna. There we go, and just bring that down. And if you want his feet to be a bit more grounded, you can just colour up to it. Look, nobody knows where the grass is. I'm going to go across to the cow. We'll do the same again. So we're going to colour in the outer edge, and then we can fill in the centre. It's really fast drying as well, this gouache, but it is better when it's warmer like today, so it disappears. Just paint out his body. I couldn't really prep this ahead of time either, so I wanted to show you how I did it. Mix a bit of water into that, make it a little bit more fluid. Here we go. Just drag that off. Get his little udders in. Down to his feet. And like I say, if you go a little bit out of your line, it don't really matter, but as long as you get the general shape, you can tell what it is. Under this grass. I'm just going to fill this bit in, because we don't need this empty space under his feet. And then water that down a little bit more. And I'm just going to connect these two areas together using that black paint. And bring that right down to the bottom. Make sure that's all covered nicely. So it's jet black, so we want that silhouette. And obviously, any bits that you've got gaps in, you could just put little rocks in yourself, or you could put some flowers in. You can, you know what I mean? It's entirely on to you want to join it up. All right, I'm just going to get my heat gun on that now. I'm going to move that out of the way so I don't get black paint on myself. I'm just going to give this a blast, so it'll just dry a bit faster. There you go. So it gives you a really easy silhouette effect. And obviously what I would do at home probably is go over the black areas again to make it matte black, but for this demonstration you get a really good idea how it's going to look. Right, so the next stage that I want to do is I want to die cut the sun out now. Let's bring out my plates again. I brought 2 dies. I've got a larger one that's going to take out that line that we've done, and I've got a slightly smaller one that's going to go within it. We'll trap them in, and we'll pass that through. Just move this paint out of the way while we're doing that. Let's just pull that out. You can see now we've got that. We've also got the outer. We've got the sun, if we can get it to come off this mat. It's eating it. Move that to one side. So I don't want this like kind of outer ring, so I'm going to get rid of that bit. And then that'll allow then a sentiment to stand within that area nice and crisp. So I'm going to start to stick this onto the card base. This can be grabbing while we do a sentiment. Got a nice blank card there ready. Get some glue on the back of this. And just put that into its position. I've not left a border on this, so it should line up all the way around perfectly. Just give that a good push down. There we go. And we'll just leave that to one side to set a second. Now bring in the stamping platform. We've got our little sun that we've done earlier. Just put that onto there. I brought a sentiment. Happy birthday to Moo. That should just fit in that, because I've cut it perfectly. Let's give that a press. And I'll use the VersaFine black to get a nice crisp message on that as well. Nice push down on that. Move it out there. So I'm going to mount my sentiments. It's got a little bit of height, so I've got some sticky pads. We'll put those in the aperture ready. I want to mount this so it's got like a black glow going around it to draw your eye to that sentiment. And then finally, I've got like a white jelly roller pen. You could use it paint as well, but I'm just going to catch the areas that the moon or the sun will be casting onto. So I'm going to put some little highlights going around. You can do as many as you want to. Do in the grass. And then we can also finish off by putting a few little stars in. I just use little crosses for this. And it just breaks that pattern up a bit more. And there we go. Really nice inky background. It gives it a bit of a mystical feel, and then you can use your own stamps to create a really nice silhouette composition. So in this one we've got this little chicken and cow. Really easily done. You can have great fun as well building these up. So that's the demonstrations for today. I'll just bring the other one back in that we made earlier. We've got 2 nice cards there, look. So hopefully you enjoyed those. I don't think I missed any questions. I've got loads of sorry I'm late. Don't worry about being late, honestly. Hope you enjoyed these samples. And if you want to have a look how you make them, you can always rewind and watch the video again. That's the joy of it. So apart from that, thank you very much for joining me. And I'll see you again here next Monday, same time. See you later. Bye.